Good morning, all of you. Myself, Disha Roshan Bhakta, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, Bansangas, SMCT College of Science, Commerce, and Management Studies, Powai, is going to make you walk through the subject artificial intelligence. So, students, today we are going to continue our discussion on to the introduction part, right? Okay. So before we go ahead, okay, we should or we need to discuss on the things that we have discussed into our previous session. So if we recall our previous session, then we discussed basically about the definitions of AI, the definitions of AI given by maybe different people based on the characteristics or based on to the areas like thinking humanly, thinking rationally, acting humanly, and acting rationally. So these are the four areas or four broad characteristics or four broad categories of artificial intelligence. Okay. Then we saw something very interesting about Turing test. That Alan Turing had come up with a Turing test in 1950, and it said that how a human can question a machine, and the human is not aware of that the answers that are given are by machine or maybe by a human. And then we saw about the foundations of artificial intelligence. So we saw different branches, okay, which also play a fundamental role when it comes to AI. And so in that, I think we discussed about maybe philosophy, mathematics, economics, psychology. Then there was control theory, cybernetics. We discussed about linguistics, of course computer engineering. So all those things, or all those branches, how are also uh, equally important when you talk about artificial intelligence. Fine. So students, today we are going to see about uh, two things, okay? The history of artificial intelligence and the state of art, that is applications of artificial intelligence. Fine. I think we all, because we belong to today's era, especially you all who belong to a very, very, very new era of this, digital world, or this world where AI is almost heard and almost known to all of you. I know you all are very well aware of what are applications of AI. Some of you might have already starting using it, or some of you might are already using it, okay? So uh, this is something, wherein we are going to see about the categories, maybe something like in which different fields, okay, artificial intelligence has put its benchmark or has started acting over it, okay? So yes, you might be aware about the applications that you are using, but today we'll discuss the similar thing, but the context will be rather than just focusing, on a particular application. We'll see the broad categories, or we will see the broad areas where the applications of AI are into it. Okay. Now talking about history, whenever we learn anything, okay, it's very important to talk about history. So why? Because it gives a scenario, it gives us an understanding that how this thing has evolved. We get an understanding that what happened, okay, what happened, and then maybe what were the limitations of it, and what next thing came up. So was it solving the limitations of the previous one, or was it an advancement, or exactly what happened? So learning history or knowing history of anything that we are learning is always going to be beneficial to us. And rather than beneficial, I must say that it actually creates a kind of a curiosity in our mind, okay? It tells us, okay, that how different people, when maybe let's say in today's era, we have almost everything of technological part available to us, okay? We talk about faster desktops, faster laptops, faster other devices, okay? Many things are directly available to us, okay? So if we talk about today's era, if we want to make certain things, the path is very easy, the route is very easy. But that was not the case maybe previously, but still people have did a commendable uh, you know commendable input they have given, or they have made something really great. And that idea has actually, that idea has actually uh, created we can say a wave, because of which today the things are available to us, right? So if history was not there, we cannot expect that something, whatever we are seeing today, that would be really into existence. Okay, and of course whatever is happening today is also going to be a history for some of them into the future. So that's always going to be there. Yes, so students, we are going to see about majorly two things today, that is history and applications of artificial intelligence. Fine. Okay, so let's start. So yes, so if you can see, the history of artificial intelligence started somewhere in year 1943. Okay, in the year 1943 to 1955, that that phase is known as evolution of artificial intelligence. So maybe that was the very, first time that something like artificial intelligence, was getting evolved or was getting known, or maybe people started thinking about it. Okay, so there would be many achievements by various people in this phase. Okay, but we would be talking about those achievements, which are very fundamental. Okay, which has really made certain advancements later on. So uh, in this phase, in 1943 to 1955, okay, there were two important, we can say, benchmarks. First was uh, a circuit model, a Boolean circuit model of brain was prepared by Warren Mackel and Walter Pitts. And during the same phase, Alan Turing has come up with something known as Turing test or a Turing machine. Okay. So in these phase, these two, we can say, were something, okay, which actually gave up a jerk, or gave a kickstart to what is something we call it as artificial intelligence. Then in the year 1956, okay, this phase is known as emergence of artificial intelligence, which means the term artificial intelligence was coined. So these was the very first, time wherein maybe, people started using the word artificial intelligence. And the term was coined by John McCarthy. So, there was certain conference at a certain place, and then people were discussing everything. They were discussing about the advancements, or they were discussing about what people have already started creating into this field. And then they told, okay, so we could name this study, or we could name this scientific study, or we could name this study which involves things like, understanding about human, and then putting those things into computer or a machine. We could tell this study as artificial intelligence. So that was the maybe the very first uh, time that the term artificial intelligence was coined. Fine, let's go ahead. Now, in 1966 to 1973, okay, so in these phase, okay, what exactly happened? So this phase was known as artificial intelligence reality. Now, why reality? Because in previously we just talked about, and we just discussed that something like this could be prepared. Yes, of course, people have prepared proof of concepts, people have prepared models and they were working to. But in these phase, okay, the artificial intelligence really became, a reality. That the use of computational complexity was discovered. So till then, maybe the computations were used, okay, but then the complexity started being a part of this computation. Okay, and why complexity is a picture? See, we have to understand over here, because whenever you are trying to have something which is similar to a human brain, it is going to be complex. Okay, so what happened is that neural network research disappeared. So a parallel thing which was going on, which was known as neural network, it's almost the similar thing as artificial intelligence, or we can say it's nothing but we can say a byproduct, or a component of artificial intelligence. But in these phase, people, rather than talking about neural network, okay, they more focused on, why not, the machines would have a capacity wherein, they can perform complex calculations very easily, or in fraction of seconds they can perform that complex computations. So that these was the phase wherein these things were into the picture. And in 1969 to 1979, okay, again, the more very important word, knowledge-based systems, okay. So here, now if you could see, that there's a difference in the word, okay. So we are not talking about artificial, okay, or intelligence. Rather than intelligence, we're talking about knowledge-based systems, okay. So knowledge-based systems is something like that, that the knowledge is fed into the system, and then the system is, smart enough that the system could maybe reply or act on the basis of the knowledge that is being fed, okay. So in these era, and of course these systems are still very important and very relevant today also. So in 1969 to 1979, knowledge based systems actually came into existence. Fine, going ahead, from 1980 till present, artificial intelligence became an industry. Okay, so before 1980, people were studying about it. There was research going about it, and it was basically, part of a study, part of a research at certain place. Those who all were interested, they give their some contributions. Okay, so it was not, just well aware into the industry. Okay, so let's say initially hardware became very important, then software became important, then there was a time where programming languages, on development become a part of an industry. So whenever we say that something became a part of an industry, which means people started knowing about it. Initially, let's say there were 10% people who were doing, but now more than 50, 60, 70% people started knowing about it. Okay, and then people started looking into it. Okay, people started looking into it, maybe as a commercial thing. People started looking into it as a research in certain fundamental things which are already existing. People started looking into it to maybe convert something which is already being performed by humans. So what happened is, from 1980, and this thing is still present, that AI has become an industry. So today, if we talk about industry, if we talk about information technology, or if we talk about the branches of computer science, yes, AI is a core part of it, and AI is a study, and AI has become an integral part of even the industry today. Now, once this came into the picture, okay, and once people started going more, or researching more, or going more deep down into artificial intelligence, so what we see in 1986 again till present, we again saw the concept, or the appearance of neural networks concept again came into the picture. So neural networks research started and became popular once again in the field of artificial intelligence. Neural networks itself is another big story, yes, but that science or that study is very, 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 important, and it gives us a very good understanding on how we can make AI systems. So from 1986, and again this is going till present, that neural networks have become an integral part of the study, and the research has already started and is still maybe much more things going on into what we call about neural networks. Then from 1987 till present, artificial intelligence became a science. So now when we call it as science, then which simply means, that people have, made it as a subject wherein they have decided, that if somebody wants to, just focus on AI, just want to study on AI, what are the things which should be there? So then artificial intelligence, had different things into it: scientific methods, all the mathematical models, the data mining technologies. So whatever fields were relevant, or whatever things, okay, there are many more things than this. So whatever things, when we say scientific methods, it's basically involves many things, okay, that we have seen into the foundations. Mathematics is of course going to be an integral part, and of course data mining is going to be there, because the system is going to feed it with a lot of data, and we have to, get it according to our requirement. Problem solving. So basically what it wants to focus is that AI actually came up as a subject, as a different entity of a science which can be studied. People can go into it and then have a detailed study. They can start from the scratch. While studying AI, they can have a study of other things, other integral things which are going to be a part of AI. So that's what happened from 1987, and again till present it's going on. From 1995 again till present, there was something known as intelligent agents. Now, our lectures ahead are going to focus on the concept of intelligent agents. So we will surely be, knowing about intelligent agents in detail uh, after a couple of lectures. But yes, from 1995 again till present, there was a concept of intelligent agents which came. So there was generation of artificial intelligent agent, okay, and these agent, as of now, if in layman terms, if I could say, okay, it could be maybe a software or a hardware having intelligent capacities with certain additional features, like that agent can take input, maybe input as good as humans, and that agent can produce output also again as good as humans. Okay. So giving you a very small example of what could be an intelligent agent look like. So let's say if I have a very small robotic vacuum cleaner, okay, and that vacuum cleaner has a capacity to, let's say, clean my room, and maybe I don't have to give any instructions to the vacuum cleaner. When I say the last part, or the I'll say that uh, the last part wherein the agent is completely made, and let's say if I have to just tell the agent start, and then the agent is smart enough, intelligent enough to move around the whole room and to understand how to clean, and once that part is over, that agent could stop, maybe can also record that what has happened. Okay. So yes, that is nothing but we can say an agent. So here the agent, if you could see, would have features of sensing the location where it has to go, sensing the dirt what it has to pick up, then maybe taking some turns when walls are there, etc., etc. So students, we are going to have a detailed discussion on it, okay? But as the word has came up over here, I have told you that agent is something, okay? It could be a hardware, it could be a software, and in most of the scenarios, it will be a combination of a hardware and the software, which has capacities to take input, produce output, process the inputs as good as humans. So it is going to be intelligent, okay? So that's what happened from 1995, and that's what going on till present. Fine, fine. So this was the history of artificial intelligence, and we have seen that yes, there were many advancements which has happened, and it almost started from somewhere 1943, and it's going till today. Okay, it's going till present. Fine. Now let's move ahead to the next thing, that is state of art. When we say state of art, we are basically wanting to tell that where artificial intelligence is leading to. Okay, which are the areas wherein artificial intelligence is making a buzzword, or it's trying to make a place over there. So state of art basically talks about, now there would be multiple areas where AI would already be there. There would be much more areas than what we are going to see today. But here AI has already achieved a benchmark, or AI has become an integral part of these kind of applications. Okay. So the very first application that we're going to discuss, I think, which you all are very well aware of, that is nothing but the gaming application. Okay. So AI plays an important role in gaming, where machine has to think about large number of possibilities to take up the next step of the game using trial and error method. Okay. So students, I think it is very similar. The way we do is that, let's say if I want to play a game, if I want to play a game of a chess, okay, I think that I have to think about very large number of possibilities, okay, which I have to take up before I do the next step. So what is being suggested over here, that if yes, if AI is there, then it will have a similar role to us. Okay, so what, how AI will play a role in gaming, that it will decide, it will think about a next step. And yes, when it comes to gaming, it is also being proved that AI will take up the best step also. Okay, AI is going to try the best step possible. Okay, so that the chances of winning could be there. But here we simply want to tell that, okay, from a large number of possibilities. Okay, so if we talk about games like, tic tac toe, or if we talk about games like chess, uh, 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 chess is very big story, because there are immense large amount of possibilities uh, to take a next step. Yes, but AI has achieved a benchmark over there also. So in all these gaming applications, AI has played an important role, and AI is still playing an important role. Okay, so in the AI plays an important role in gaming, and these method of AI is already useful in playing games such as poker, chess, tic tac toe, and the list is exhaustive. Okay, many more. Okay, most of them I think you already would also be aware of. You might be using it onto your mobile phones also. So that's where the first area where artificial intelligence is leading. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay. The next area wherein the artificial intelligence is it has played a very important role, that is nothing but the vision systems. Okay. Now, what exactly the vision systems look like? So, to understand, interpret, and get the visual inputs of the computer screen, vision systems are used. For example, photographs captured through satellite, which are then used to figure the locational information or map of the areas using AI systems. So, which means, you have an input of an image available to you, and you want to actually, understand that. So basically, it's all about understanding and interpreting the image that you have received, or maybe the visual inputs of computer screen. Okay, so that is the major working of vision systems, and this is where AI systems are used. So let's take an example over here. Let's say, we have received an image from a satellite, okay, about a particular area. uh, let's say there is an application of maybe, AI, wherein we can know about that in which specific area, let's say, people are facing more from diseases, or maybe let's say certain amount of maybe, uh, animals are more in certain areas. So that there could be, various things. Okay, the application could be anything, but point over here is that image is captured via satellite. Okay, and then uh, there is no interpretation of that image. Okay, so over there, okay, an AI system will play a role, and AI system will help to figure it out. Okay, the all the details as much as possible from the image which is taken from the satellite. Now, the next, again, very important, we can say, usage of these vision systems is the computer software which is used by cops to recognize the face of the criminal, to compare it with stored portrait made by forensics artist. Okay, so I think this is something which we are already aware of, that what happens is, when some crime is being made, so there is that, and if someone has seen that person, then that there is a forensic artist. Okay, and by taking the information from the person, who he would draw an portrait. Okay, but then how to actually find out who this person is? Okay, so what happens is, the cops will always have, a database of many people, or maybe existing criminals also there. And what they would do is, they would just feed these image which is made by this forensic artist, and a software. Again, over here, when we say software, yes, it's going to be a vision system software. Okay, having the AI capacities into it, and it will help to match the image of the portrait to the multiple records which are there into the databases. Okay. So that's the next, application or state of art of artificial intelligence, that is the vision systems. Next is speech recognition. Yes, I think we are already aware of this. So this system will take human speech as input and is able to listen and understand the language in terms of sentences, grammar, and their meaning. So let's say, whatever I'm speaking today, there could be a system which can easily listen to my voice, and maybe, it may also be possible that it can generate a text of whatever I'm speaking right now. Yes, so those kind of systems, those kind of apps already exist. So what they are going to simply do is they are going to take the input as human voice, they can listen it, and they can also understand in terms of sentences and grammar. At times it may also happen, that they can take the input and they can, correct the lines or something like that. Yes, now once it might happen that certain speech recognition system already has some person's speech, person's voice fed into it. So let's say, for example, I'm going to have an authentication with my speech. So let's say these days there are many systems with having uh, you know uh, having an accessibility given depending on to the speech. Okay, so, and let's say if I'm suffering from cold or cough or something like that, then it might happen, that my voice tone or maybe my voice pitch has changed. But yes, these systems are smart enough that they can understand and they can handle in such scenarios also. Next is handwriting recognition. So this system is able to recognize handwriting on paper, the shapes of letter, and different styles and formats applied on the text. The software can be read. The software can read the written text on paper by pen or from a screen. It is able to convert different shapes into textual forms. Okay, yeah. So these kind of things are very useful. Wherein, let's say for example, there are something handwritten documents available to you. Okay, and let's say there are multiple those handwritten documents. Maybe these documents could belong to some historical event also, and there is no soft version of it created. Okay, uh, they uh, they are in a form, wherein we have to handle them also very very properly. So in these case, okay, in these case, especially these kind of documents, we call it as manuscripts. So in these case, these kind of software, what it will do is, we can pass this document wherein things are written in a handwriting form. And what these kind of software can do is they can recognize that whatever things are written on the paper. Now let's say while writing something, okay, there is a star being drawn, or maybe there is a circle being drawn on something like that. Then it also has a capacity, to understand that shape and maybe to convert that shape into a form of a letter. So if let's say it found somewhere circle, then it can also put, that it is circle over there or like that. Okay, so that's about handwriting recognition. Let's go ahead. So yes, the next one is natural language processing. The artificial intelligence system allows user to interact with computer that understands human natural language. So over here, how it is different from speech recognition? Because if we talk about speech recognition, then it is simply going to listen to our speech and maybe understand it and maybe write it somewhere. But if we talk about natural language processing systems, then it is going to allow us to interact. Okay, which means I say something, then I can get an answer from it. Then again, I can say something, and then again, I can get an answer from it. So that's how it's going to work. The next kind of systems are the expert systems. Okay, so over here, these systems are mainly used for reasoning and advising. Okay, so of course the word says expert. Okay, so let's say if I want to, if I want to have some advice, okay, that what should I do. Okay, let's say whether I should go to this place tomorrow or not, what is going to be the traffic tomorrow. Okay, or how is the weather it's going to be. So these kind of system, or let's say there are 5 different places which you want to visit for certain purpose. Okay, or maybe let's say there are 5 libraries which you want to visit, and then you give your choice that I am actually interested in reading, let's say, books based on fiction. Then these, maybe the expert system can suggest you that from these 5 libraries, okay, this is one library wherein there is a better collection of fiction books which is already available. You could go there, you can read that. So something like that, these expert systems will always help you for advising something to the users, and they'll have also reasoning skills into it. Okay, so That was about expert systems. Going forward, yeah, I think we all are very well aware about it, that is intelligent robots, again and very specific area or state of art of artificial intelligence, intelligent robots. Now, uh, these robots, are controlled by humans, and whatever tasks are given by human, they perform. Okay, of course, it's not necessary that uh, the humans could tell every time. It might happen that the humans could have programmed what all actions they have to perform, or the human could give instructions by speech, and then the robots are smart enough that they can understand it. Okay, these robots have sensors to detect light, heat, temperature, movement, sound, and pressure. So these robots, okay, have all these capacities into it. They can detect light, they can detect heat, they can detect the temperature, they can detect the movement, they can detect the sound, and yes, they can detect the pressure also. They follow unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning, which means what? Okay, which means if they have made certain mistakes, okay, in the past, they learn from it. Okay, it's not necessary. What they do is, if they have made some mistake, they could record their mistakes, and then next time they could have an improvised version of it. They have efficient processors, multiple sensors, and huge memory to exhibit the intelligence. Okay, so they have efficient processors. Of course, when they have to perform so much of task, they should have multiple sensors. Of course, very huge memory and efficient processors also. So yes, this is again one of the again important state of art of artificial intelligence. Next, AI in e-commerce. Okay, yes. So I think online shopping we all are very well aware of. We are very well aware of today. Okay, just giving you a very small example of how AI plays an important role in e-commerce. So let's say I have searched something today. Let's say I searched about a T-shirt with, let's say, some size and some color, and as soon as I search it, yes, I get the contents about that T-shirt. Um, from multiple brands, okay, multiple varieties. And then if I click something, okay, and then if I click a t-shirt, because yes, because I had liked that t-shirt, what I could really see that below is that yes, if you're purchasing this, then there are multiple other options similar to this which are available to you. At times, it also tells us that if I'm purchasing, let's say a product, and then there is some associated product with it. Okay, so let's say if I'm purchasing again a t-shirt, then it could also tell me that people have purchased this t-shirt and this track pant together. And let's say if you're purchasing this, then this should also be there, something like that. Okay, so that's how AI has made a remarkable input into the field of e-commerce. And most of the online shopping applications today will surely surely have certain part of artificial intelligence inside it. Okay, it also recalls, or it also remembers the user patterns of searching, then in which brand user is more interested, or in which kind of product user is more interested. So what happens is that next time when that brand or something similar to that product is there, then it get the user gets notification that something like this has already been there, so you could purchase it, or like that. So that's how AI is going to play a very very important role in the field of e-commerce. Fine. And lastly, intelligence, cyber security, right? Okay, so when we talk about big networks, okay, especially all the financial systems, very big business applications, okay, are already using very very big networks. Of course, they have a team of people okay, who are smart enough to understand that how the security is there as a part of this network. But still, there are AI systems, because at times there are chances that human may not be able to recognize the small, very small things which are going on. So with a team of humans, there are also AI systems which will help you to detect whether in these networks certain vulnerabilities are going on. So if, let's say, if these systems are something which will be always awake, they will be continuously seeing the network, and if any kind of vulnerability is there, if any kind of activities there which should not be a part of that network, then they can quickly pop up these kind of activity to the team of network people which are available, and so that they can do a log into it and they can understand, okay, that yes, these kind of things are going into the network. So AI systems again are very, very, very integral part of intelligent cybersecurity, and yes, this is one of the most important again state of art of artificial intelligence. Okay. Last but not the least, chatbot. I think this is a very, very, very famous and a buzzword these days. We all are aware of what is a chatbot, and whatever examples are being listed, we are all aware of it. Maybe we all have used it also. Okay. So these are intelligent software agents which can understand your natural language and can perform the task, okay, for the users as an assistant. Okay, so if let's say I am not aware that maybe where where is, let's say, where is Starbucks in Powai, I'm not sure of. Okay, so I could just ask that, okay, I want to know where is Starbucks in, where is Starbucks in Powai, and then yes, I could get a quick reply, maybe in form of a text, in form of voice, in form of some images, at times in form of some locations also, and that's how they connect with us. Okay, so some of the examples of these kind of virtual assistant or chatbots are Apple Siri, Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, Microsoft Cortana, etc. Yes, there would be much, much, much more than this, but maybe these are something which people have frequently used it, or which people are frequently using it. Okay. Yes, students. So yeah, these were about the state of art or the applications of AI. Okay, if we'll have just a quick recall, then we started with gaming, then it was vision systems, speech recognition, handwriting recognition, natural language processing, expert systems, intelligent robots, AI in e-commerce, and intelligent cybersecurity, and then virtual assistant or chatbot. Okay. So I think today we had an understanding about the history of AI, how from 1943 it started and how it's there into the present also, and various AI, various areas wherein artificial intelligence is playing very, very, very important role. Okay, fine. Uh, Thank you, students. Thank you. Thank you, all of you.